647 at WBAP. Everybody's watching. That's kind of the feeling you get right now. And Carla was panicked yesterday. You sent me this email, panicked, that folks were able to determine exactly where you were just based on the photos that you're posting on Facebook.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say panic, but
no,
yeah,
it sounded like panic to me.
It was going around on social media, and a lot of my girlfriends were posting and resharing, and I just thought, hey, let's look into this, because there are so many settings, in your phone,
right,
that if you don't know that something is on or not, it could give away your location. So I watched this video.
Yes.
I sent it on to Don. He's in law enforcement, and he was able to kind of explain some things. It's a little scary if you don't have all your settings done correctly.
I felt like it was panic, I'll be honest with you.
That's just me on a normal day.
Okay, Keith Squires joins us right now. He's a cybersecurity expert with the Pathmaker Group. And Keith, thanks for the time, because we thought we'd lean on you on this topic. That is this true that they could essentially, if they wanted to, folks could, I'm going to use this term, hope I'm using it correctly, triangulate where you are based on a photo you've just posted online?
That's exactly the case, sure.
And how does that happen?
You've got a facility on your phone called geotracking, and basically whenever you take a picture, it's identifying where you are if you have that setting turned on. And every phone has the ability to turn it off. It's just people are not aware that that can be done.
And so these folks who want to find out where you are, is there software that they have that we don't normally have? Is that what it is that enables them to see exactly where the photo was taken?
It's pretty easy to find that. It's got a geolocator, so you basically look up that ID and you can see where someone is. The biggest issue is people are just not really being aware of how they need to maintain their privacy. Depends on who you have friends. It's Facebook. If you're letting the world see who you are on Facebook and you're always posting pictures wherever you are, including while you're off on vacation, then you're not really being wise about how you use social media and your smartphone.
Yeah, I've always thought about that. When you go on vacation, you take pictures of yourself sitting on the beach. That means no one's sitting at your house, guarding your stuff, essentially. Keith, is this a case where they can get detailed information on the location, or does it just kind of give them a rough vicinity as to where you are?
Well, it tells you exactly where you are.
Now,
which means not at home.
Right. Now, this is what I thought was interesting, too, because, so many folks do put their pictures, kiddo pictures, I'm guilty of it, too, on Facebook. And what this was saying was somebody could essentially right-click on that and then triangulate, as Brian was saying, find out a location. And the reporter in the story actually ended up going to someone's home because of it. So this has nothing to do with Facebook settings, for one, because you can still have those set to private. Two, this has nothing to do with the GPS setting on your phone. This goes beyond that. What I found, it was a setting within the camera settings on the phone. Is that correct?
It depends on what camera you have. Like my BlackBerry, yes, I'm still old school. You can turn it on and off on the camera itself. If you're using iPhone or Android, it's a privacy setting in your phone, and some have the granularity to turn it off per application, and others just per phone.
Is it as simple as location services? I mean, we see that on the iPhone as an option. You can turn off location services. Is that sort of a blanket setting that would do that?
It is on like a 3. On a 4, you can turn it off per application. But that's exactly what you're talking about, the privacy location services setting.
Keith Squires is with us right now for the Pathmaker Group, cybersecurity expert. Hey, then we see this story out of Houston. And, Carl, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, about a baby monitor that was hacked.
Yep.
Where, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, Keith, where literally someone was using someone had hacked into a family's baby monitor. And they were reversing it. They were able to see what was happening via the camera. Is this right?
That's very creepy. Yeah, that's correct. And there's different types of baby monitors. There are those that use the frequency similar to your cordless phone in your home. And then there's those that are internet-enabled. And this, I believe, was an internet-enabled one. And had a vulnerability that exposed it to the outside world. And certainly someone grabbed a hold of it and was able to get through their home network. So got to be really careful about securing your network. And when you use these technologies that are internet-enabled, and more that's going on now, you have to be sure that it's secured.
And you bring up something that I've been looking at are these web-based cameras, security cameras that you can get for your house that are fairly inexpensive now. And they attach to your Wi-Fi, and then you have an app or a website that you can go to and actually monitor what's happening on those cameras. But I never thought about the fact that those could simply be hacked and someone else could be watching me inside.
Yeah, Yeah, there's some older models of those that can be hacked pretty easily if you don't follow the instructions explicitly. So some of them don't come with user ID and password settings by default, but you can turn that on. I think some of the newer ones are getting wise to that and are requiring that by default. And you know, the baby monitor thing specifically, there's some newer models that actually require registering those with the activation code and serial number of the device. So there are some that are more secure. You just have to be really smart and make sure you pay attention to the security of those devices.
Hey, Keith, by the way, in that baby monitor story out of Houston, I read through it quickly. Was that person who hacked into it, were they actually able to pass audio as well through that? Were they actually talking through that monitor?
I didn't get a ton of details on that, but it sounds like that's what was reported, yes.
Wow. I mean, so this family is sitting in this baby's room, and they notice the camera move, and then the person who had hacked in it starts talking to them through that monitor.
Oh, wow.
How scary. How scary is that? So, Keith, I guess let's bottom line this. It sounds as if we just need to be diligent when it comes to our security settings, and I guess at this point we have to assume that if we're not diligent, then people are looking at us.
You probably do. It's such a connected world now, and you have to pay attention to security and privacy. If you're concerned about it, you have to wake up and kind of understand the technology you're using and make sure it's secure.
Keith Squires, the Pathmaker Group cybersecurity expert. Thanks for the time this morning.